Coach, Roll Tide, it's always exciting to get to March Madness, but you got to be tremendously proud of your basketball team for the progress they've made over this year to get to this point.
Roll Tide, Roger. Absolutely. Just incredibly proud of this group and, so excited for the opportunity ahead. And, they've earned every bit of it. I think yesterday was 105 practices. So the blood, sweat, and tears, they've been amazing all year. We've had a really great week. We're healthy. We look rested yet game rep. I love what we've done and how we tried to go about it. And I think we're just excited to get on that plane tomorrow and head to Maryland.
Certainly ready for Alabama to play the first round opponent, Green Bay. We'll get to them in just a moment. When you look at this season for Alabama, it had some ups and downs. Sarah Ashley Barker going out with injury for a while, had to adjust playing without her, then her coming back. Are you proud of the way your team approached all the adversity it faced along the way this year?
Absolutely. And I think that, we grew from it. We turned it into a positive. I think when SA went out to go 4-2 to get that win at Ole Miss, the things that, we had some areas of our program that were able to improve because they got more minutes, some more practice reps. And, I think she saw the game from a different perspective, right? Being out. And I thought when she came back, she was even better and stronger. So many positives you can draw from, adverse situations. I mean, to be uncomfortable is how we get better. That's how we grow. And love this team and what they've been about all year with that. And, the opportunity that we have this weekend, our conference play has prepared us for this. I mean, the SEC truly does just mean more when you see the level of competition, the different styles and systems. I mean, that prepares you for the NCAA tournament. So we're just looking forward to how our league has prepared us. And I think it'll be a benefit for us this weekend.
Last time we saw the Crimson Tide, it was the second round matchup against Florida in the SEC tournament. Tough loss, tight loss for Alabama. When you look back at that ball game on film, what stood out to you?
We did not make shots, and we all know that when we make shots, we're a much improved team. We got some great shots. I mean, the ball just didn't go in, and was not disappointed in our effort. We did some really good things. We've beaten them two times before at Florida and at home, and it's the old adage, it's hard to beat someone three times in 1 year. I'm not sure, other than we turned the page quickly. I mean, like we taught from that in our next practice. But we focused on how can we get better, and whether it's the Florida loss or whether it was the Ole Miss win or whatever our team went through in conference play, we just continue to teach. And I think that's what we love teaching and growing and learning, and how can we be better than we were the day before, and that's how we approach the Florida loss. And I feel like we've an improved basketball team, and learn from a loss. Absolutely, can learn from a win too. So we try to approach both the same. We stay consistent.
Yeah, you mentioned turning the page for this team. There is the interesting layoff between the SEC tournament and the start of the NCAA tournament. What's been the energy level in practice over the last week and getting ready for what's coming up this weekend?
Well, we took some rest, but we also have taken practice and really worked hard with our strength coach, Kevin, on, making sure our game like reps, making sure our polar readings are consistent, make sure that we're on an ascension this week up until game day on Saturday at 12:30. And how we've approached that throughout the SEC season with our Thursday, Sunday. So, really have a lot of faith and trust in how we utilize our technology and how we plan our practices. There is a science to it. I mean, we believe in the numbers, and we also believe in a feel for people, and what this team has needed last week with spring break compared to what it needs game week. And how we've gone about it, from our recovery to our nutrition to our rest, our hydration to our film time to our scouting time and our execution on the floor. We're happy to have our practice guys back. I'll say that. Our practice guys coming back from spring break, not having them a week ago. It's been really nice to have them back and be able to put them in some real life situations with our gray team, Crimson team, not focused on being Green Bay. Now we can really have our practice players focus on being Green Bay.
Selection Sunday was a lot of fun. I know for you at Coleman Coliseum with the watch party. So you see Alabama across the screen, then you see, most importantly, Green Bay as the next opponent. Just how quickly did your staff get organized for you all to get some film on the Phoenix and start getting prepared for this first matchup from the jump?
Well, after we left the SEC tournament, I'm a basketball junkie. Like, and Kelly and I, it's either men's basketball or it's women's basketball. So any game that was on, I mean, our TVs are just going crazy at home. I mean, I had a chance to watch the Horizon League final because they were playing IPFW, and then So it's funny, I watched the entire game. And, as you watch games throughout the weekend, you're going, oh, well, we may draw them, or hey, we may draw them, or hey, we may do this, that. Had a chance to watch some former assistants that were playing in their conference tournaments. So that's a lot of fun to cheer them on. But constantly was watching women's games and thankful for the technology and what that gives us right now. So I had a chance to watch Green Bay. But now I think I've watched 9 different games, from early in the year to late in the year. Feel really good. Coach Kelly's got the scout. We feel really good about our game plan and the things that we want to do, and the things that we need to do to be the best version of ourselves against them.
For our fans who maybe haven't watched them so far this year, how would you describe their style of play and what they can do when they're playing well?
Well, they're so well coached. I think the thing that impresses me the most is that they have, 7 fifth-year players and one redshirt junior. So you've got 8 players in their top 8 that have been in their system, for 5 years, 7 of them, and 4 years, one of them. And, when you look at the tradition and history of that program, I feel like she's one of the best young coaches in the country. She played there. She understands the strengths. And she has come in seamlessly in one year and done a phenomenal job. And they've won 22 straight. They're 29-5. They were 19-1 in the league. So they don't make a lot of mistakes because they understand the system and they understand each other's strengths and weaknesses. And so it's a very well coached, well seasoned basketball team. And so it's going to be really important that we go out and execute the game plan and do some things that we know we need to do to be successful.
Well, I know it's tough for Alabama not to be hosting the first and second rounds of the NCAA tournament in Tuscaloosa, but you have to like the way your team has approached road games so far this season, especially with the carrot kind of dangling out there that 2 wins and you get to come back to Alabama to play in Birmingham for the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight.
Absolutely. We have been really, really good on the road this season. I love how our team has taken those, our from our hotel experiences to our pregame meals to our routine, our focus, our walkthroughs. So when you're going on the road, you feel really confident in this group because they've been, we're seasoned too, we're experienced too, we understand what it takes, and we've gone into some of the most hostile environments in the country. That's what the SEC does, home and away, is prepare you. And I've asked, hey, are you upset about not hosting? Listen, our kids did a phenomenal job. I think we had a 17 net. Our strength of schedule was incredible. All the things that we did in the non-con, we did everything that you're supposed to do. And then in the SEC, I feel like we did everything that we're supposed to do. But at the end of the day, you can control the controllables. I've seen so much complaining across the country. Man, I'm not a complainer. We're going to make the most of what we do have. We're excited to go on the road because, again, we have a lot of confidence in this team, home or away. And it's the time of year where you go get the job done. We want to leave every stone unturned. We want to leave the tank empty. And that's what our focus is leave nothing on the table, right? And so whatever the situation was going to be for us, home or away, we feel blessed and we're excited and we embrace that. And we went to Texas a year ago, beat a really good Florida State team, lost a close game to Texas. This team has been through that. So we know what it's like on the road this time of year. And we're going to draw from those experiences. And how do we take another step forward? Getting back to Birmingham, it would be incredibly special for our program, for girls basketball in the state of Alabama, across this region. Sarah Ashley won 2 state championships in that building. There's nobody that's more hungry than she is to get back to that building, I can promise you.
We'd certainly love to see it. Well, Coach, first things first, Green Bay coming up on Saturday. I can't wait to be on the trip with you all coming up this weekend. Just thank you for the time you've given us here on Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. Just all the best as Alabama prepares for the NCAA tournament. Roll Tide. Thank you.
Thank you for all you do for our program, man. Roll Tide.